months on, the change inside the royal family has been obvious. We've heard about everything from the way Charles is running the house to the different positions that the royal family now sit within. Where are they as an organisation 12 months on? What is the tangible change and what's been the continuums?
Well, I think what's been interesting is how little has changed on the face of it. You know, they have continued the many traditions. They just gathered at Balmoral, as the Queen always did throughout her reign. They've done all the major royal diary events. They've got through a year of firsts. And, you know, things are going okay. Charles is popular. We've just had a poll here, a YouGov tracker poll, which suggests that, you know, around 60% of people think he's doing a great job. So in many ways, the lack of change has probably been a good thing for the monarchy. We are seeing some differences, though. I think, you know, we hear a lot from inside the household about how things used to be done. Things are changing. There is going to be a slimming down of staffing. I expect to see the residences opening up more to the public. We're going to have more of a focus on things like sustainability. We know that's something that, as Prince Charles, he was incredibly passionate about. Now, as monarch, he can't speak perhaps in the way that he once did about these issues, but he can lead by example. And I think we'll see a lot more of that.
True, untrue, known or unknown. Are there little quirks that have changed since Charles took over? Are you hearing anything about the royal household that works ever so slightly differently?
Well, I think the one thing that leaps out is that they've turned down the temperature of the palace swimming pool. And that is definitely in line with the King's eco-credentials. You know, it's certainly been remarked upon by members of staff. And I think that whether it encourages people to swim a bit quicker, spend a bit less time in the pool, who knows? But all of these things are taking on a new slant. You know, even things like the Buckingham Palace garden parties, where they're making sure that all the food is sustainably grown and produced. So these themes that he's pushed for his whole public life so far are still very much there in his reign.
Also, it's been interesting to note that, you know, one of the sort of fears or rampant speculation between events 12 months ago was about how activist the king would be. Now, I think it was fairly obvious that he wasn't going to be giving speeches. He wasn't going to be turning up at the G20 because he was the monarch. He wasn't going to turn the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting into essentially, again, some sort of campaigning effort. Has that been something that has helped steady the transition, the idea that, OK, look, this is not a figure born out of World War II. It's a figure who comes to the throne almost a quarter of the way into the 21st century. But all the fears, all the, frankly, BS about the activist king, well, again, you can control the temperature in the royal households, fine, but he has done a pretty impeccable job of the transition to the opinionless monarch, hasn't he?
Absolutely. And, you know, that wasn't necessarily an easy thing for him to take on. He has made his views so clear over the years. We know a lot about what makes him tick. We know a lot about his interests and his passions. And we're not just going to forget about that overnight. But the fact that he is not making the speeches that he once was means that I think people are probably more widely accepting of him, whatever your views on these issues are. And he's very much there in a kind of elder statesman like role at this point. And, you know, for many people who might not be that in tune with the monarchy and hadn't particularly looked forward to his reign, I think it's interesting that some of them do respect him for his life experience now and actually have found themselves liking him more than they expected to.
Yeah, I'm one of those people, well and truly on the other side of the world. Emily, it has been one hell of a year to be the royal editor for Hello. I'm sorry that the next year will be boring, but I'm sure you will enjoy the rest compared to the wild 24/7 that you've been through in the past year. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Pleasure. Thank you, Paul.